Hey beautiful humans, I'm RidersDX, and if I'm going to be 100% transparent with you all today, I will say that I'm tired of platform fighters, at least at the moment, for two reasons. One, there's just been an influx of them for me. I mean, the first Nick Brawl didn't come out too long ago, first of all. Smash Bros is always something that's around, and multiverses, man, that sort of was like the final nail in the coffin for me. But number two, I'm fucking terrible at them. Like, what the hell is a wave dash? Am I better with faster or slower characters? What's considered spamming versus good technique? There's just so much strategy that goes into mastering a game like this, and I hate to drag myself, but I am nothing but a simpleton. I just want to go into a game, play through it, have some fun, and then move on to the next. That's why I'm a big single player action adventure gamer. Battle for Bikini Bottom? Sign me up for that army. Sonic Frontiers? I'll run on grass all day. Paper Mario: The 1000-Year Door? What is sleep? I've erased sleep from my memory. So I spent a lot of last year really trying to sink my teeth into these platform fighters, and I just realized these are the reasons I never could get myself truly into Smash Bros. It's just not my thing, plain and simple. So with the announcement of Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, trust me, I really tried to hype myself up into being an excited fan, and I genuinely was. For like a week. I'm always all for a Nickelodeon crossover game. Y'all have no idea the chokehold the Nicktoons games had on me as a child. I mean, there was always something really cool about seeing all of your favorite cartoon characters come together for an adventure you actually can feel like you're a part of. Best believe when SpongeBob jumped through that portal Nicktoons Unite with Goddard, I sprung up on my feet as well. But general platform fighter fatigue set in on me, and also the realization that it just isn't my favorite kind of game just made me want to slowly stop posting content in this game for a while. I was reacting to these showcases because I felt like I had to, and it just got to the point where I turn on that camera and I have literally nothing to say. It was like my voice box was on strike. My brain was nothing but mush. The YouTuber was not YouTubing. This made me sort of have mixed feelings on this game as we neared its release. Don't get it twisted. I did feel good about what I was seeing with the game. After all, they were overhauling everything from the base game. The slime mechanics look fun, all the levels look so much bigger and more vibrant overall. It definitely seemed like a marked improvement over the original, but all in all, it was still a platform fighter. So ultimately, how much was I really going to enjoy this game if all these realizations have been drowning out my brain? Not to mention the game also had some red flags for me. The cutting of certain characters, for instance, the multiple delays that made me nervous about the game being ready for launch, especially since I felt like the timetable in particular was quite short. What was this game going to provide for me that actually genuinely get me on board? Well, I received a code on a Beverly Hills coded November 2nd, and once I booted that sucker up on Steam, I went straight for the campaign mode. This is probably the most different thing about the sequel from the original. On top of the inclusion of full voice acting from the start, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 was also set to include a roguelike campaign mode. The plot backdrop was that Vlad Plasmius of Danny Phantom is trying to counter the multiverse, so Clockwork has enlisted the whole Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 cast to help stop him. Now, I'm no stranger to campaign modes in these types of games. I believe the last one I felt was memorable was the Subspace Emissary in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now, you have to understand, that was an event. It was basically the Oscars of the video game world. To have all these characters interact with each other, albeit with no dialogue, was still pretty insane. But that was a very high bar to set, and well, let's just say Nickelodeon All Star Brawl simply is never gonna have the tools to even have a chance at reaching that bar unless something totally crazy happens. But nonetheless, a campaign mode Nickelodeon characters is something I'm by default very interested in. Like, how far are they going to go to make this a proper story mode? Well, you start a campaign and you immediately start a game off with a cutscene between SpongeBob and Patrick, and let me tell you, I was gagged, I was diseased, and I was most certainly seated. I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't full-on dialogue trying to narrate a legit storyline. Like, I don't know, the first game really tempered my expectations, I guess you could say. But as I was playing through this campaign mode, I realized that this was definitely made with Nickelodeon fans in mind. One thing about the first Brawl game that I've come to realize is I believe the game was maybe made, but definitely marketed it towards competitive Smash players. Listen, I'm a regular buyer and player of Nickelodeon licensed games. I think Battle for Bikini Bottom literally infected my blood when I was a kid, so I am doomed to forever be enamored by whatever low-budget Nickelodeon-esque game they come out with next. But the buyer base of people like that is actually not that big. Don't get me wrong, all these franchises are mega popular, especially SpongeBob, but how many of those fans are not only also video game fans, but also big enough fans to cross over those huge licensed game mentalities that convince the majority of the public that these games are ultimately nothing special? So you can of course cater to those fans of these games, but don't expect blockbuster sales unless your game is able to appeal to a wider audience. And thus, once they saw the original Brawl picking up interest from the Smash community, almost the entirety of the marketing efforts went towards catering to them, promoting tournaments, showing the game off to streamers, showcases tailor-made to show off the game mechanics. The original Brawl's mission definitely shifted once it began to make waves. So why shouldn't I believe they would only go more in that direction with the sequel? It only makes sense. And well, they certainly have. The game definitely has more interesting mechanics to play with compared to the original. But man, this campaign mode was absolutely made just for Nickelodeon fans. I mean, the sheer joy I experienced seeing XJ9 talk to her mom in what's most likely the first piece of audible dialogue they had since the show's cancellation cannot be understated. Along with all the expected references like the catchphrases the characters utter, the movesets pulled from specific episodes, this campaign truly took me all the way back to my childhood. I mean, come on, Aang has a direct exchange of words with Cabbage Man. Like, I don't think the actual show had such a thing. Oh yeah, so many other characters beyond the roster appear throughout this mode. Hugh Neutron, for instance, is present in this sense at least, so I guess he was only mostly cut. I mean, I'm probably very well overreacting here, getting hyped up over silly little references like this. But I mean, the fact that the developers even spent a significant amount of time of this game's production on this mode when they could have done more to further push this game into the competitive market really shows they still have Nickelodeon fans in mind with these games. And for that, I'm truly appreciative, because not all of us are platform finding connoisseurs. But this sequel I feel legit has a little something for everyone, and that's just fantastic. I'm not even gonna try to talk about everything else in the game. I have no sense of strategy whatsoever going to these matches. I'll just say that I have fun. It's a blast. And I can't wait to lose embarrassingly to all of you in upcoming live streams. I have to take a moment and say thank you to GameMill for the advanced copy of the game, and thank you to Ludosity and Fair Play Games for making a game for everyone. I wish you all the best of luck with the future of this game and anything else that comes afterwards. If y'all like videos like this and want more content Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, well, that red button is going to enhance and help you flourish in so many indescribable ways. So click it already. This is Riders, riding out.